What's up everyone, this is Renskar, here with my Dragunity deck profile. For starters, Blackwing Zephyros the Elite. Gotta have him in this deck, it's essential for the big combo. You use this guy to bounce back your RDMD after you use his effect, to bring back a Phalanx and Synchro Summon into Vajrayana. Ockley's, he's go for Red Eyes fodder. Here you can normal summon him, bring out Mistletoe or a Legionnaire. He's an okay card to have. Mistletoes. Got 3. Gotta run Mistletoes just because you use them to go into a tomb. You can also use them to get around stuff like Fiendish Chain if your Dux gets hit by it, or even Infect Veiler. He lets you get out of a lot of things. Dux is, if you're a Dragunity player, you should know why he's in there. 2 Legionnaires, just personal preference, and they're good with Ockley to get rid of a lot of stuff. Phalanx, key card in the deck. You use him with Dux or Mistletoe, you get a quick level 8. Well, with Dux, you get it through Vajrayana. RDMD, standard tech for a Dragon deck. Three Tempests. Okay, Tempests, they're just awesome in this deck. I mean, it lets you search for the things that Ravine can't search for. Alright, getting on to the spells. Starters, 1 Dark Hole, pretty much standard. 3 Dragon Ravines. Again, standard for this deck, and I just explained why they're in here. Foolish lets you pitch a Phalanx or even Zephyros if you need to. Gold Sark lets you banish a Tempest from your deck, lets you get his search effect.
Dispensing product.
3 MSTs. Yeah, I shouldn't have to explain why they're in here. Two Quill Pens. What I like about them is they let me recycle my Duxes and my Vajrayanas, and I also get a bounce off of them. 3 Terraformings, they're just in here to search out my Dragon Ravine. On to the traps. Start off with a Bombless. Shouldn't have to explain. Call. It's always nice to have a revival card just in case. Compulse. Shouldn't have to explain that one. 2 Mirror Forces. I like Mirror Forces just because it's a good surprise card and it works against a lot of decks. Warning, it can slow down decks quite a bit. Torrential, sort of the same idea. 2 Trap Stuns. Works excellent in defending your Dragunities. Keeps them from getting hit by stuff like Fiendish Chain and Breakthrough Skill. Alright, on to the extra deck. Crimson Blader. generic level 8 synchro, and he's awesome in this deck. You go out against a deck that, let's say, has to bring out something level 7 or higher, or level 5 or higher, I mean. And he can do a lot of damage. Slows down a lot of decks. Gaidir, he's a key part of the big combo. If you do not have a Foolish Burial in your hand, you use him to add Zephyros to hand and ditch it, which is pretty good. 3 Vajrayanas, they're in the deck just because that's how you use ducks to get into a level 8 synchro. Red Dragon Archfiend. Actually, personal preference, I prefer him over Trident Dragon. Just because if I run into something like Wabaku or something I cannot kill in battle, Red Dragon can run right over it. Even stuff like Zen Mines, it's going to have to ditch both its materials just to survive. It's also pretty good against Fortune Tomb. Scrap Dragon. Okay, I just love this card. I can pop my dead cards and just pop anything my opponent has. Two Stardust Dragons. Gotta have some way to protect your field spell and your back row when you really need it. Two Gaia Chargers. They're great with Attunes after you use his effect, and when you want to go in for an OTK. Two Attunes. Yeah, the first one is great for getting out that Red Eyes, but if you need the second Attune, you can get out something that you can use for fodder for Red Eyes, or even one of your tuners. Inzektor Exabeetle. Now, interesting thing, since, well, in my opinion, Inzektors were meant to be the successors to Dragunities, but Exabeetle works pretty great in Dragunities' format. Especially if your opponent has something that can't be killed by normal means. Like, so the same reason why Red Dragon Archfiend is in here. He can bypass those effects. Even Stardust cannot stop Exabeetle's effect. And Strike Bouncer, I should not have to explain. He's just a good card. Alright, moving on. Side deck. 1 Dragunity Arma Leviton. He's good with Ockleys, and he gives a little surprise factor to the deck, just in case someone starts running something to get rid of your phalanxes. You want something to fall back on. Droll and Lockbirds. Seriously underrated card, but man, does it mess up a lot of decks. This thing is the anti-Max C. I mean, Dark Worlds, Mermails, you can stall them for 1 turn. And typically, if you're running this type of deck, a lot of times that's all you need. Effect Veilers, I shouldn't have to explain. Flying Sea, a lot of decks don't really have an out to him. If they like to Exceed Summon a lot, which some of the top decks do, he'll just stop them dead. And all they have left is their regular monsters. Breakthrough Skills. Again, in here for sort of the same reason Effect Veiler is. 3 chain destructions. Personal preference, but if used on the right deck, it can cause a lot of damage. And with most decks, their regular monsters are well below 2,000 attack. Yeah. Alright. Cursed Seals, again, they work against a lot of decks, and since Eradicator was dropped to 1, then it sort of makes my Cursed Seals the better choice, at least for this deck, since I don't have so many darks that fit the requirements for Eradicator. And also, if I hit a card with it, it's gone for the whole duel. And duplicates will not be able to be activated. Catastor, I decided to side him just because there are a few dark decks out there. And I don't like it when I go up against a dark deck and I have Catastor in my extra, and he's pretty much useless then. But against a lot of other decks, he can save you. And the third Stardust, in case they're running a deck that's destruction happy. Alright, that's my Dragunity deck. I hope you enjoyed this little deck profile. This is Renskar signing off.